Hi, everybody. It's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching. And we are certainly doing our part as much as we possibly can to assist companies. And I wanted to put this video together and really explore why conversations matter, especially during this time when the coronavirus has got people scared, fearful, forcing organizations to put their employees in remote places, working from home. And it's really imposed this thing called change. And a good friend of mine, Cassandra Worthy, has made a great practice in business out of enthusiastic change. Now, I don't know right now if people are enthusiastic with this change, but certainly it's prompting people to change. There's going to be some dreadful things that come out of this. There's going to be some things that come out of this that are going to be pretty good. Spending more time with family, talking to people, having better conversations. I talk all the time in my speaking engagements, my webinars, my articles, why conversations matter. I go back to a couple simple, fundamental conversational skills. How often when we're talking to people, are we thinking about what we want to say while they're speaking? Can we honestly say we're really listening? And what does that do to the relationship? And what does that do to trust? Now that's just a simple conversation matter, a simple conversation example. Now, the number one objection we go through in our business is managers state, we don't have time to coach. I hear it all the time. Tim, our industry is really different. We're really busy. Every manager, every leader is busy. But I go back and I think about fundamentally two scenarios. Let's take a manager who is coaching and a manager who says, you know what? I don't have time. Let's look at the first manager. They call people into the office for the good stuff. The Gallup organization reports people engage 8 times more when we lead with strengths versus constructive feedback. Now, how many managers really call people into the office for that? It's not a lot, but therein lies a huge opportunity. Now, let's say the first manager is also scheduling time and practicing and using positive feedback. Now let's go to the second manager and ask ourselves, how are they going to build trust? Now they have to have conversations. With everything going on in the world, they now have to lead and converse and ask questions and listen. Do they have the trust? Is there a relationship in place that the employee says to him or herself, I'm going to go through a wall for my boss? Or are they potentially reacting with, oh, now they want to talk to me? Conversations matter. Let me give you another example. We have to be very careful during this time not to get into rhetorical direction. Let me give you a really brief example. Years ago, I spoke at a publicly traded company, and I was on a stage in front of about 4,000 or 5,000 people. And a guy came up to me and said, oh, man, you must be nervous. Be confident. Like that was a magic button he was pushing on my body. Like I forgot I should be confident. Now, let's take a step back. Why would you say that to someone 2 minutes before they go on stage in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people? Because it's rhetorical. He didn't know what to do or say. His intent was good, but he really took a risk. Now, I was not nervous and it didn't throw me off. But the point being, we can't use rhetorical management during these times. So for example, if you have employees who are scared right now, if you have employees who are fearful for their spouse or significant other's job or well-being, the worst thing we can do is look at someone and say, don't be nervous. Don't let it bother you. It doesn't work that way. That's like going up to someone with a negative attitude. Bob, have a positive attitude. And he goes, oh, okay. It doesn't work that way. If it did, I probably wouldn't be in business. So what we have to do is do some fundamental conversational things. Ask questions. Listen. And I mean really listen. Not interrupt, but really listen. And then demonstrate active listening by stating back to somebody. So Betty, what I hear you saying is, you're really nervous. You've never worked at home. You're struggling with where to do it. I'm going to help you. I can't make it perfect, but I'm also not asking you to be perfect. Would that be okay if we spend some more time together and let's do a couple calls together and I'm going to help you get through this? When we tell people how to feel, it triggers an emotion. That's where rhetorical management can be very dangerous. If there's ever a time to ask questions, listen, really listen, actively listen, and then respond in direct correlation to how somebody expressed how they felt, you're going to help your team, your people, the people around you in the organization get through this. And I go back to some clients that we have, great clients who've been doing this for years, and they're actually getting through this. Now, we're not done. I don't mean to profess this is going to be easy. I don't mean to trivialize this. This is a tough time, maybe one of the toughest times we've ever had in the United States. But the fact remains, we have to use conversations. Our conversations are changing. And one of the things we do, and one of the things we're encouraging our clients to do, is use products like Zoom, where we can have face-to-face interactions and conversations. And I think about a company that I am a client of, a company out in Bethesda, Maryland, doing some amazing event work in the chief learning officer arena, the legal world, called Concero. And they're changing rapidly with what they're doing because they're starting to explore, wow, this is cool, this is intimate. This is a different form of a conversation. Now, does that require some skills to be developed? Of course. So if I'm talking to you right now and I start turning away and looking around and I pick up my phone, guess what happens? I've sent you a message. The same thing happens when we're face to face with each other. How often when we're talking to people, before we even get done with the sentence, does somebody show you a nonverbal disdain element, such as rolling of the eyes, or really, or yeah, but? How many people do you have yeah, buts at your company, where they already know you're wrong before you get to the end of the first sentence? If we improve our conversations, our ability to listen, empathize, understand, state back, three things will occur if we do those things. Trust will go up, we'll strengthen the relationship, and we will prepare them for our message of change. That's what conversations can do. It's not just coaching, it's conversations between employees, it's conversations between peers who might be at leadership or management levels, it's conversations from employees upward to upper level management, providing visibility and perspective of things they see that are coming. Conversations are not one-way streets. They're multi-directional. And that's why conversations matter. So think about some of the things that you can do in your company to increase conversations. Here's the cool thing about being remote. Conversations take on a whole new dynamic. You've got to listen differently. You've got to look into a screen. All these things will help you. The more we increase conversations, the more we have a level of trust, a solid relationship, and we'll get closer to our people to ask them to do something that most people won't do on their own arbitrarily, and that's seek and accept change. Good luck.